for his Lifetime Achievement Award when Young Miami was there as his paramour, holding a banner that says "Go Daddy,"
He thanks her
and he
for the
didn't thank
dark times,
her. He thanked Cassie
for holding it
for
down.
holding him down through the dark times after she had moved on and married and started a family. Is everyone forgetting how people were saying how Diddy was still approaching Cassie as if they were still in a relationship after she had left him while she was with Mr. Fine, her husband? You heard about that, right? Like he was still pretending, he was still including her in posts while she was a married woman. And people kept, even 50 Cent said something to say about it. Man, when's the time to let go? He said, I don't know when I feel like letting go. He said he bragged about still going after Cassie while she was newly married and it just had a baby. They're like, but they married, they have a baby. He's like, well, it's my girl. That's how he was still referring to her. And if we pay attention to what the documents in the lawsuit said, after she left him, he came and he assaulted her one more time. So I want you to think about all of that. And now let's rewind 30 years and think about the story my friend Albert just told you about what Diddy did to him and his wife. And even though he went through all of that trouble to claim Kim away from Albie Shore, he still turned around and got their other friend Sarah pregnant while him and Kim were together, which is why the twins and Chance are so close in age. He was sleeping with all of the friends, and he was friends with all of their boyfriends and husbands. I don't know. That to me is a clear line of that's behavior. That's calculated behavior that's been going on for 30 years. This man does not know how to take no for an answer. This man must have what else. Did you ever see the Count of Monte Cristo?
I read it.
Thinking about this story now, it makes me think about that. Whether you read it or whether you saw the film, any one of them, there was one line when Count Mondego, because it was Edmond Dantes and Count Mondego. And Count Mondego was the wealthy son of, nobility. And Edmond Dantes was a hardworking guy who was working his way up in the world the honest way. He was in love with a beautiful woman. And every time Edmond turned his back, Fernand is sitting there all up in Mercedes' face. You're gonna be mine one day. You don't want to be the wife of a ship hand. I'm noble, and you should leave him for me. And whoop de woo. And she looked at him and she said, "Do you remember when we were children? And you got a pony for Christmas, and Edmond got that whistle, and Edmond was so happy with his whistle that it pissed you off, and you didn't even appreciate the horse you had just gotten." And she looked at him in the story and says, "Fanon, I am not going to be your new whistle." And what did he do? He turned around, set his friend up, let him go to jail for the rest of his life for a crime he didn't commit that he set up. And what did he end up having for all of that time? He had Mercedes and he had the child that he posed as his family, his son. his wife, and he made it seem like he did the noble thing because his friend was unalive. And so he came in and then they had a baby. Turns out it was Edmond baby all along. Now, whether he knew it was Edmond's baby or not, who knows? But what mattered to him was being able to take the one thing that made another human being so happy. And guess what? He wasn't happy for long either. He was running around cheating on Mercedes with every woman and whore in Paris and all of that. He went through all of that to get it. And then lost interest. She had said it to him. All I'm going to be to you is a new whistle. And that's how I feel about Diddy. This is a terribly unhappy person that when he sees happiness on another human being, he wants to take it and claim it for himself because he thinks if he gets it, it's going to make him feel better. And then he gets it and then he just doesn't care anymore. And then he goes off looking for a new whistle. All of these relationships with these women that he's had publicly have overlapped. Publicly. Meanwhile, we can't stop hearing about all these male victims that happened in the midst of all of these overlapping female relations. Do y'all see where I'm going? I'm going to fall back. I'm going to let y'all talk.
Tommy, what have you got?
To me, this is it's never been about the male, the female, anything. This is a guy that gets his rocks off making people do things they don't want to do, right? So if you could get somebody that's heterosexual and force them to do something that's goes against that, that's about as far as you can push a human being to get him to do something that is outside your comfort zone, right? Sleep with the sex you're not accustomed to sleeping with. That's about as bad as you can do. And we keep hearing in all of these lawsuits where they'll say to a bodyguard, you get in there, you do it next. And everybody assumes that the bodyguard's like, yeah, let's do this. My gut is he's probably making these people do things that they're going to regret for the rest of their lives. You know what I mean? You heard in the documentary, right? You get that coat, right? You get that gear. It's blood in, it's blood out. And, you know, we even hear him joking about that in videos, you know, and then he giggles afterwards, but it doesn't seem like he was kidding much, right? They really have gone out of their way to kind of build this thing into it's a Diddy cult, that whole damn enterprise. And you're right, it's an enterprise, right? We got a letter coming out on February 1st called the Enterprise Letter, and it's gonna spill out all of this crap and tell us who was there and who wasn't. I know people keep saying they're worried that Jay's gonna walk. Man, you said that about Diddy, right? You did. All you sent me emails for a long time.
Diddy.
Yeah, damn right.
Everybody told me I was crazy. And where is Diddy?
DC, Brooklyn.
Now, see, understand this. I'm not a Diddy victim. But I have survived and am still surviving Shaun Carter. I promise you, if y'all think I was willing to go that hard on Diddy, y'all have no idea what I'm prepared to do for Mr. Carter. They're all going. I pray to God, and when I pray, he answers my prayer. They're going to make it hard. And guess what? You know what happens when you in a car accident and you tense up? You end up breaking more things.
Yeah, but drunk people always survive.
It's better to just be relaxed and let things go. But the harder you fight it, the harder your pain is going to be. Am I wrong, Tommy?
Not at all. And I'm telling you that we're going to see him. This is the same situation. This is the exact same situation. This is the third time we've seen it, right? We saw it with R. Kelly. People are terrified because these people victimize so many people and they're so flagrant. They got zero impulse control and they're in your face. When they disappear, then people start doing when they're not in fear anymore, the truth will come out in a bigger way. And it's going to happen. 2025 is going to happen.
I pray to God that I have something to do with that. I really do. I pray to God that in my last days, when I'm taking my last breath, I can look back and say, I got the world to tell the truth.
Oh, you can already say that. You can. And you inspired a lot of people who are chasing this down, whether you realize it or not. There's a lot of people that are fighting this and are involved in this because of the work you did.
Thank you. Thank you for
I'm one.
acknowledging that, Tommy.
That's a fact. I've
you're
always
the
said this is your fight. I'm jumping on board, but this is definitely I got turned on to this by watching what you were doing. It was captivating.
Yeah, you're the tip of the spear. You've got a question from Misinformation.
Oh.
Who in the documentary have sold their souls to the devil, in your opinion?
I ain't got the right to speak on nobody's soul. One time, I sold my soul to the devil. I'd rather you ask me, who do I think can make it back? You know, we all sell a little bit of ourselves sometimes. We don't even know it. So many of those people walked into those white parties and had no idea that they were going into rituals that were designed to mesmerize them and to steal their true salvation away from them. I think we should really just stop judging where people lie spiritually and really just stick to the facts. It don't matter who sold they soul. Everything is redeemable. Everyone is redeemable. And I'm living proof of that. That part, Tommy.
You got a
Damn right,
question
man. That's the basis of my life. I believe that more than anything in the world. And that's why I get up every morning.
Got a question from Gems. Hi, Jag. What were you about to say about your convo with MIA when you asked her about those videos?
Oh, she was AI'd. Whatever that rant video was that went mini viral 2 days before she sat with Candace Owens, it was AI. Just like they tried to do with me a couple months ago. Isn't that something? That whole rant that everyone was making a big deal about wasn't even real. Wasn't even her. And it's interesting. We have the same enemy as well. Actually, I don't even want to call it an enemy, just an adversary at this point. Because Rock Nation did the same thing to her career that they have been actively doing to mine. I don't know what it's going to take to get people to realize there's nothing that these people won't do to keep a frame in place. We just got to do a better job at not being fooled by it.
Camellia, Jag's social links for contact, Instagram, etc. in the description box, and Jag's YouTube channel. I'll put that in the live chat as well now. People can want to subscribe. Jag's doing regular lives over there, and there's a hell of a lot less restriction, censorship than we've got on this channel. So, and I was on it recently.
Well, you
as
know,
well.
I like dancing on that line, you know. You know, I dance on that line sometimes just to see if I'm gonna touch the wrong side. You know, they tell me I'm a line stepper. I disagree. I'm a line dancer.
Well, Candace has certainly been on that line and gone over it a little bit. Yeah, so I've been watching her quite a lot as well recently.
Yeah.
And,
Of
she's
course, they
saying some
wanted to
good stuff.
discredit her before she went to Candace. Of course.
Joanne wants to know, is the documentary balanced or pro Diddy?
I think it's balanced, and I think it's pro reasonable doubt.
It's interesting what's not in it as much as what's in
Very
it.
interesting.
Oh, this is an interesting one. I don't know if you've touched on it yet.
Great
Your
question.
thoughts
Hey,
on
Akia.
Bieber on following Usher?
I he didn't just unfollow Usher, he also unfollowed his father-in-law.
And the best man at his wedding and one of his security guards, right? He
Because I
got
think
busy.
he's finally popping out of the fog.
He didn't unfollow Diddy yet, which I find there's got to be a message in that, right? I
There's
mean, he
definitely,
unfollows all these people, but doesn't unfollow Diddy. I don't know what that means, but that's weird.
well, I'm sure that that was a PR move because the second that he does unfollow Diddy, everyone's going to be waiting for his victim statement to come out. He's not going to unfollow Diddy until he's brave enough to come forward. But I think right now he's looking all around him. And I hope he's questioning that marriage. Because for a father in law to brag about introducing his adolescent daughter to a teeny bopper pop star and then saying, I let Justin Bieber marry my daughter. Your daughter's a model who was running around with Bella Hadid and the other girls. I know what your daughter was doing before she married Justin Bieber. You didn't do Justin Bieber a favor. You did your daughter a favor because you knew exactly where she was heading for. And from what I heard, she was in a shipping container or two in Dubai, allegedly. She marries Justin. You come in management. Y'all live happily ever after on all the money that he made and all the suffering that he did. And you keep going back to the elites, handling him for them. They ain't nothing but Schluminati babysitters. Got that baby pushed out fast, too. Look at Cardi B. Look at her life. It's a mess. And I told her, you don't keep having babies by that fool. Because they're going to use those kids to trap you up. And even if Justin does wake all the way up and leaves his wife, she got that baby. And a baby is the best kind of liquid handcuffs you can put on somebody.
I'm telling you, it's an anchor. It definitely is an anchor, especially if you're solid. I mean, if you're one of those people that doesn't run out, you're
More
hooked.
importantly than that, they like hanging with the people that like hurting kids. You want your child raised by them?
And there's been some cryptic messages coming out of that dude. I don't know. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, so this is an opinion, right? We'll leave it right at that. But I don't know whether he uses or what the deal is. But he comes out with some stuff that he just looks. The last one he did, I don't know if y'all saw it, but his last post on, I think it was Instagram, or if it wasn't, it was X. But he looked toasted, right? And he's doing this, the thing about the industry. It was weird as hell, man. That dude's his father-in-law's a creep. He's a really weird guy.
I don't understand why nobody is taking into consideration that MK Ultra might be involved. If anybody would be a perfect candidate for the MK Ultra program, it would be Justin Bieber, wouldn't it?
It's like a
Childs.
modern adaptation of it.
And by the way, just for anyone, I hope there's nobody out there that still thinks that's a conspiracy theory or anything. I did the FOIA on that in prison for somebody else. It was the first time I had ever done any of this because you can only do so many as a convict, as an inmate. You can do a couple a year. So the guy came to me and said, "Hey man, have you used your FOIA?" I said, "I don't know what a FOIA is, right?" So he had me write it out. And while we were on a lockdown, it came to my cell. I swear to God, man, it was 4 feet high. It was 4 feet high. They delivered this stuff. And they throw in stuff like people's timesheets. Nothing was in order. Stuff's redacted, but it's in there. That program existed. They just did they make it real hard to read. But yeah, I that was my first FOIA ever. I was pretty proud of myself. was the first one.
And
Yeah,
let's be
we had
clear on this. They want you to believe that it all happened just in movies. Yet, the saying art imitates life, not the other way around.
you're getting asked about the 50 Cent Diddy documentary, whether you've been approached, when you think it's going to come out.
Why would
Uh,
Curtis Periwinkle Jackson ask me to do anything when if he invited me, I'd probably burn down the set? Considering what he's doing in my beloved Shreveport, Louisiana, I don't like it. And the truth is, him doing the Diddy documentary is just his way of rewriting history to make sure he doesn't get implicated, in my opinion, because he knew all about this stuff and he never blew the whistle. How many times do I have to remind people of the interview that he did? Was it on the Breakfast Club or somewhere else where he was talking about how he had gotten a video of Cassie being ravaged by multiple men in a very aggressive manner? And he said he called Diddy and he asked Diddy, did he know that that was out there? And Diddy like, yeah, man, she loves it. She loves it. It's cool. He was like, I thought you said you love this girl. He was like, yeah, she loves it. She loves it. You want to come get down? Clearly, that was footage that came allegedly from a freak off. Everything that he described about what he saw those men doing to Cassie sounded like a freak off, which means that 50 Cent himself had access to the freak off tapes before HSI went running up in that house. And now you want to do a documentary? What do I think? I think it's cheeky. And I think it's going to be a load of bullocks. And I think it's all going to be a bunch of stuff to try to make everybody else look like the wanker he is too. How's
so
my,
Dodo,
how's my Brit talk? Do I still have it?
yeah,
There
you're
you
getting
go.
there.
There you go.
You're getting there.
Well,
Dodo
you know
Max.
it. I remember it very. I miss London so much. Look at me. I'm even having a fag.
Dodo Max. Do you think the freak offs have stopped since Diddy's been put in jail?
No, this is ritual now. And a lot of people that attended these parties are addicted to the behavior. People keep forgetting about the importance of dopamine being attached to these very explosive situations. We know what happens to people when they're on medication and they running loose out here in these streets. All of these people are highly medicated with body chemical reactions, all of that going off and in the mind. You heard Bow Wow, he's practically crying for a freak off. The party's over. It's not fun no more. This has been normalized for many years. And yet it
Even the
brings
people in
us
the
right back.
documentary were saying it,
Yeah.
right? They said we all knew about the after party was something people were talking about decades ago. Everybody knew that they were using the O word, orgies were going on,
Do
but
people
people knew.
know about an after secret party? If it's a secret, how did everybody know it happened? How does everybody know about something that's not supposed to happen? That don't make no sense. Like it's the things I remember talking to someone in the industry that I know. The first time I heard that phrase, that's what all the PR reps were telling everyone to say. Oh, I went to the white party. I didn't go to the after party. How would you know there was an after party?